2v2 Desert Showdown, blue team. The Great Cornholio is a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive commander. Lots of manipulation and control abilities. Begins in melee combat alongside. Scattered to Cinders is an Apothecary support commander that fights in melee combat by default. Begins with a targeted heal and a passive health regeneration aura. Red team, CNA is a Warlock, a melee commander that can leap into combat. Some powerful spells giving him support, disruption and offense. Chaos Sorcerer is going straight after him. This is the same Han elite scheme, I believe it's called. Looking pretty cool. And rounding off the team's Batpimp is a Kommando Nob, infiltrating commander that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style, begins range combat with a twin link shooter. This is the Death Skulls elite scheme, I think. Maybe. With the hood there. West side kicking off. The Sorcerer was forced to retreat, but he might lose his VP immediately. Banshees took a little bit of damage, but they're still in there. So who can land the best Disruptors and Doom Bolts? Banshees will try to decap, but they're going to take shots from the CSM. There's some Tzeentch worship too. He still hasn't taken his natural VP over here, Batpimp. There we go. Commando came to this contested wreck point to take it. Blue team don't have their natural wrecks yet because the scouts are getting both of them rather than the red team splitting up to get both. And now Cornholio is going to be straight back on that power. Tactical Marines here behind. Maybe heavy cover. Those tank traps are heavy cover, but the barbed wire is light cover, so depends where they're standing exactly. What is this Sorcerer up to? He's really having a very good look at his generator. He's studying it like crazy. There he goes. Now he's attacking it. Decided it wasn't part of his plans, finally. Cornholio getting Havocs up to help control this relatively narrow western side, and CNA responds with his own Garni weapon team as well, which hits the field first, in fact. Banshee's getting in there with a power melee kicks. Doom Blast. Banshee's pulled back pretty far there, trying to avoid Doom Blast, I guess. Shuriken moving up. Look how quickly it is moving for a setup team. Turns very quickly too. There's the Havocs though. Not sure if he'll be able to get this decap, but that's a lot of damage on those heretics, and Banshee's getting in there just in time to catch them as they were retreating. But the Havocs again coming into play. Gonna push up with the Shuriken though, not messing around on this side. CNA. You might see that Vestments of the Warp to teleport in. Oh, nice grenade on the Sluggers here. Teleport in on that Shuriken. Can they finish him off with some melee? Surely the Tactical Marines can. Yes, down go the Sluggers, and those guys had burners as well. Shooter boys are most likely upgraded. Yep, big shooters of both of them. And Rangers on the field for CNA. Going for a 1-1-1. See how good Rangers do by themselves without doubling up. They don't do a hell of a lot of damage these days. Have some good disruption and can suppress, of course, though. Here they are getting shots. I believe it's 60 damage per shot, which should be ignoring their heavy armor. I believe it's regular sniper damage. Apothecary's getting stuck into melee. Doesn't have any war gear yet. There's a stun bomb. Oh, he didn't actually hit himself with it. Nicely done. Shooter boys are rather low on hit points. Need to be careful. Yeah, there we go. Devastator's on the field now for Scattered to Cinders. He too wants to lock down his power, which was decapped by Batpimp. That was no doubt those Sluggers who were wiped that did that. Knock back on these fellas. What was that? Oh, it might have been the grenade launcher barrage thing. Banshees again, kind of struggling to get in there, aren't they? On this narrow edge with Havocs in play, it's going to be tough. There's aspect of fleetness up, and double grenade launcher heretics for Cornholio. Yes, it is. So he's not going to have that Doom Blast to fall back on to control the Warlock and the Banshees. That might be a mistake, because it's very useful to have that one-click suppression on hand when the Warlock gets close and gets in amongst the Havocs like this. He's got this Merciless Witchblade too. Pretty much a no-brainer choice against two energy-intensive heroes on the opposite team. Can also use the ranged attack to knock him over and annoy him and stuff. It does some decent damage in melee as well. It's one of my favourite tier 1 weapons, I think. One of the most effective and dangerous. Scouts forced to retreat. Devastators went for the garrison. Good old Desert Showdown with this big weird building in the middle. Lots of Daka. A nice stun bomb again, a really nice stun bomb. Didn't hit any of his own stuff there. Storm Boys on the field now for Batpimp. You see them back at base healing up, so Scat to Cinders already knows that they're in play. He might get the purification rights. Devastator's coming out of the garrison, which is maybe risky, knowing that Storm Boys are around. And a sneaky Nob as well. Do you have the Sergeant? Yes you do. We saw the grenade earlier. Cornholio on this power again. Looks like CNA transition to the mid to help contest it. Storm Boys jumping in. Nice disruption on those Devastators from the Rangers. There's another tool he can use against those enemy Havocs as well on that west side, of course. Oh, Devastators are going to go down. Or are they? Storm Boys jumping away from them. Need to finish them off, fellas. Oh no, they let them go. Big mistake. Oh, they did go down. How the hell did they go down? That was very strange. Maybe there was one of those Storm Boys did a melee attack and it just took a while for the animation to play out as they ran past. But he did get those Devastators down. Would have been a massive mistake if he let them go there. Warlock needs his shield up, I feel like, because he's getting shot down pretty nicely on this west side. Rangers doing some good work so far, I think. They have their Pathfinder gear. Banshee trying to get in around stuff. Oh, Havoc's just running away at the sight of him. Jumping over stuff with the aspect of fleetness. Able to run in on these heretics with impunity because there's no Doom Blast around. They know that. Those guys getting teleported out with warp. Not sure if that was necessary. Could have just retreated off, I think. Pretty strange usage of his red there from Cornholio. He does go tier 2 though. Looks like CNA is going to be the last to go. These Rangers again doing some really good work by themselves. Didn't think they'd be very effective, but look at that. Some constant damage pressure. That disruption's really good. 460 to 394. And of course they're cheaper these days. That's the big rub of all these changes. It does make them cheaper. I believe they're 210.30 or something. I could be completely making it up though. Taking out heretics there. Special attack from the Warlock. He's got some very fanciful animations, hasn't he? Level 2. Maybe he can... Oh, I was going to say maybe he can disrupt the Havocs with his range attack, but Kinetic Pulse was in play and knocked him flying. And Banshee's getting in there. And a grenade maybe. Oh no, they don't use their grenade, those Dire Avengers. Grenade barrage, trying to knock back the Banshees. There's the War Shout though. And he's pinned back to his base. Shuriken in play and the Rangers as well. Doing some really good stuff over here, CNA. And pressure on the power in the middle. Not a good end to tier 1 for blue team, or beginning to tier 2 even. CNA finally goes tier 2. That was a very late tier 2. He spent some resources though, didn't he? Got the Merciless, got the aspect, got this aspect as well. Got the Shuriken, got the Rangers and their Pathfinder. This is getting decapped and shot up. Lots of pressure on the blue team beginning of tier 2. Need to come out swinging. Scatter Cinders with just Tactical Marines did not replace his Devastators. He's got a Sergeant and a Flamer. Not sure why he wanted that Sergeant so quickly. Maybe he wants Stern Guard veterans up. Sorcerer again with pressure on the power hit. But Rangers able to hit back pretty effectively when he gets to this position, I feel like. Warlock coming in from the flank. So 1-to-1 cap. VP still very even. Still a knife edge here. Cornholio with his big tier 2 purchase of a Dreadnought. Could get Mark of Corn, of course, and use his warp to get out of trouble. Do some devastating stuff with it. Can he get a decap here? CNA, because he's pushing through a lot, but is he getting decaps when he does so? Lots of Daka on the Apothecary, sprinting around, which means he has Armor of the Apothecary, which gives him plus 1.5 speed when he's out of combat. Look at him. Like an Olympian. Storm Boys chasing down some Tactical Marines. Where's the Shotgun Blast? There it is. Oh, actually knocked them away from the Purification Bars there. Needed to throw it a little bit further. But Storm Boys are alive and they can get their Nob Leader out in tier 2. We have a Death Dread on the field for Batpimp and he's burning down the power. Really powerful on this map, the Death Dread, because you don't have to walk very far to get to your enemy's power. Same deal with Bane Wolf, of course. Then he can march right back over to here. Oh, he doesn't need to. It's already decapped. And rather capped, even. Bad place to be for Scatter Cinders. You need to get something on the field, fella. He's got some Devastators on the way. Not sure what these upgraded Tactical Marines are bringing him right now. Other than a little bit more firepower. He's got Devastators on the way. Does he go for a Las Cannon? He does go for a Las Cannon. Really wants rid of that Death Dread. More power harass from Batpimp. What is he doing? He's just being really aggressive and making things pin back, I think. There's that Chaos Dreadnought without a mark so far. Could keep it with the autocannon for a while. If he feels like he's having a lot of trouble dealing with the Banshees, you can switch to the Mark of Khorne. And here's some Warp Spiders. Getting a aspect, they can throw their Haywire Grenade at the Dreadnought and shut it down completely. Can't even fire its weapons. And he's got a Bright Lance too. So we'll see how the Dreadnought does. Do these ladies have their X-Arc? They don't. Not as easy to spot her when she doesn't have her Executioner Spear. There's a warp out of trouble for the Dreadnought. Stormboy still... Oh, there we go. I was going to say, they still don't have their Nob Leader, but there he is. Heavy melee brutes that can stun when they land. Nice grenade, though. Ouch. He tried to dodge it. Should have just retreated immediately when he saw it. Kommando, do you have anything yet? Nope, he's getting his stick bombs, though. Death Dread is still on the prowl. Now taking Las Cannon shots, needs to get on those guys, and he should be able to do that quite easily. These guys need to retreat. Or they're just going to take losses. You can just follow them into base if you wanted to. There's stick bombs on retreat, not able to do anything now in terms of losses. Stuff dying over here. CSM dropping a model, I think. Now this Dreadnought really needs to pay off for Cornholio. He's invested a lot in it. 120 power or something, isn't it, to get his eyes on the field. Havoc setting up. Oh, there's that Chains of Torment. Making no effort to shoot down the central mass there, CNA. Just lets it disintegrate normally. Look at the map control for red team now. Lots of aggression from the Orks on Scatter Cinders, jumping in there. Oh, the Storm Boys. Shotgun blast. Where's that Death Dread? It's back here. Backing away. Took some Las Cannon hits, I guess. Doesn't want to be too aggressive, Batpimp, because he could get hit by that in a really bad position. And of course, he's also got a frag grenade, so frag grenade into a purification vials could be the end of a couple of squads if he gets lucky. Scatter Cinders. A Shrine of Tzeentch in a really good place, I think. Can hit the VP, but can't be shot easily from this approach or from the eastern approach. Sorcerer with Robes of Torment, as we've seen, and Rod of Warpfire getting a decap on the VP there. Apothecary trying to sprint away. Got his customized Stormbolter and Purification Vials, Armory Apothecarian. Level 3 too. Heals himself. Scouts having to retake their power. 310 to 336. Wraithlord on the field for CNA. Infiltrated by the Hollow Fields as well. And if he can get in melee on that Dreadnought, it's bad news for the Dreadnought because the Wraithlord has melee resistance and the Dreadnought doesn't. Also has more DPS if it doesn't have Mark of Khorne over there. Good approach play by CNA, splitting off his Banshees and his Warlock, trying to approach from 3 angles. And he's pushed back Cornholio here. See that autocannon doing some work on the Wraithlord. He's going to need to upgrade his Havoc, surely. Oh, he's got some Plague Marines. There we go. That's going to put some pressure on the Wraithlord. He might take down this Shrine. Rangers need to be careful. Down to a single model. Don't want to lose these guys. And CSM are shooting them down here. Oh, they do retreat out just in time. They're really helping him out. Really helping him with his approach, I think. Doesn't want to lose those guys. What's this? Apothecary's down. Gets revived with Lariman's Blessing. Pretty cool ability. Revives all allied commanders on the map. Back to base. In retail, of course, it revives you where you died, which can just lead you to die again, or lead you to do some really cheesy things as well, which is why it was changed. Plasma cannon with a really nice shot. Some stick bombs going in, trying to predict that retreat path there, but threw him a little bit too early. He's that a las cannon getting shots? It is a las cannon getting shots. Sluggers need to be careful. Sluggers go down. Now the Death Drone needs to back away. Oh, I don't think he's going to get out of it. Because the las cannon can set up and shoot him. And also that tactical marine missile launcher. But Batpimp taking the opportunity to shoot down generators here. Plasma cannon shots. Oh, took down his own generator, I think. Death Threat goes down. Did a lot of work for Batpimp though. A hell of a lot of work. But losing those sluggers again was bad. It goes tier 3. What's going on west side? Wraithlord taking a lot of damage, but is in on melee. In melee on that Dreadnought, I should say. Where are those Plague Marines? Oh, they're running away. 282 to 320. Did the shrine live? Or is that a new shrine? Might have just been repaired. They really are focusing on these flanks, aren't they? I've seen very little center plate, which usually gravitates towards the center as the game goes on. And we have flash kits on the way for Batpimp. Scouts right up close to that power node trying to do full damage. Storm Boys jumping on the tactical marines, which is really bad news for those guys. They seem to shake off that stun a little quicker than usual. Or am I going crazy? Plasma cannon getting caught. This las cannon, of course, not bringing a whole lot to the table right now. Takes out the plasma cannon. That's got to be satisfying. But gets caught in a sync kill, takes a lot of damage. There's the bomber boy for good measure, and then retreaters out. Wraithlord needs some more repairs. He's getting his shoulder-mounted shuriken cannon, which has like 46 DPS piercing, which is a hell of a lot. Can't be quite so gung-ho now that these Plague Marines are here with his Wraithlord, can he? Slows them down, does some decent damage too. Shooter Boy is down to a single model, but... Oh, both squads down to a single model. Here are the flash kits, and they are getting their blasters, which do psychic PvP damage and are really painful for heavy armor, like these Marines here. What are these Shooter Boys doing? Run away. You've got one model each. Gonna lose them. What's he doing? He loses them. Very strange. Is he having some kind of problem there? Because that was crazy. Did he just want to satisfy them to free up population? Maybe. People do that as orcs, and they replace all their shooters with flash kits. But that was a bit weird. Nice chains. Oh, it actually stops the Wraithlord. I don't think I actually realised that this thing locks down vehicles as well. Huh. Very, very useful. No Mark of Tzeentch yet. He's sticking with that default autocannon. CSM might get caught by Banshees. There's the War Shout. And Warp Spider's in to help them out too. Warlock is going to get the decap on the VP. Can Batpimp recover here? Because he lost a hell of a lot of stuff. Intentionally or not, he's depleted here. Librarian for Scatter Cinders, a good choice. Smacking on some Storm Boys on retreat as a grenade attempt. Pretty good attempt, but slightly too early there. Batpimp is tier 3, has a lot of red too, so we could see a rocks. There's the Champion's Robe for the Warlock, giving him that shield. And he gets the cap. Cornholio, though, pushing forward, has bashed his power pretty nicely. Wraithlord's on his way to level 2. And look at this now. Scatter Cinders pushing through the middle. Batpimp getting some commandos. Why did he drop those Shooter Boys like that? Not sure what was going on there. Blasters doing their thing. They do have a 10% chance to fall over when they shoot these weapons. And they can domino knock back each other. But look at the damage they're doing to those tactical marines. Just exploding them. If you had 2 squads of flash kits, that might have been a dead tactical marine squad in that time. Just standing in the vials here, Batpimp. That's not good. And now retreats out. Maybe he didn't realise. Maybe he was watching his Storm Boys. 221 to 289. Cornholio now looking pretty strong. Getting another Dreadnought on the field. Maybe that one will be Mark of Corn. Now he's struggling to contest his side. Now that these Space Marines are front loaded with all of this damage and all of this beef, he doesn't really have the room to maneuver Eldar style over here. So it might be worth him just sitting mid, I think, CNA. Just concede that VP. And concede his power for now. And sit mid. Build up this power, make sure it doesn't get taken, and take that VP. Right Lance is going to go down, I think. Damage over time from the Plague Marines take it down. Yes, they do. Here comes a Wraith Lord and Howling Banshees. Plague Marines in trouble. Dropping one model. Now in retreat though, they'll be fine. And there's double autocannon Dreadnoughts and a Loyalist las cannon getting some shots in. Massive amounts of damage on that Wraith Lord. Good grenade though. Kommando Nob takes the mid. There's an Eldritch. Takes out one of the Dreadnoughts. The other one was teleported away. So that's a decent usage of a nuke, I think. Did a lot of damage and took out one vehicle. Batpimp still very, very depleted. Has no power whatsoever. He's bleeding a lot from these Storm Boys, maybe. Put some more pressure on the power. Some commandos with their Nob leader has that rocket launcher. Makes them pretty good at bashing power. And here are those flash kits. They will do very little damage to the generators, I think, with those weapons. Are they even going to shoot? Come on, I want to see how much damage you do to generators. No. They are not shooting. Meanwhile, Warlock in on the Chaos Sorcerer, draining his energy with each shot, and there's a Destructor for good measure too. Did the Wraith Lord go down? No, it's still alive. Another very good chains. And again, no attempt to shoot down the central mass. I'm not sure what the hell these scouts are up to. Getting caught by Banshees here, and now they get healed though. Flash kits moving over. Oh, nice grenade from Scatter Cinders. Been pretty good with those grenades so far. A stun with the flash kits. Blasters as well, that's nasty. 221 to 211. Might be a good idea for Widboy to get, for Batpimp to get a Widboy up, I should say. Librarian using his Veil of Time on himself, or was that just the quickening thing? I think because he starts with Veil of Time these days, which is pretty helpful for him. Commando's being tied up. Storm Boys need to be very careful here and run away. There we go. Need to try and defend his power, but constant pressure on it from Scatter Cinders. And here we see Commandos bashing this power. Are you going to shoot your rocket launcher? Guess not. Maybe. What's going on here? Does not want to shoot his rocket launcher. Does it have a minimum range? Is that why he can't shoot it? Maybe. 221, 179. Wraith Lord might be in trouble. Where's that las cannon gone? Has he moved it? Oh, it's in retreat. Smack's trying to tie up those Plague Marines so they can't hit him with that slowing missile launcher. Are these Warp Spiders going to get out of there? 6 hit points. Yes, they will, I think. Wraith Lord might be down here. Autocannon Dreadnought and the Plague Marines getting shots in. He needs to tie up those Plague Marines with his Warlock. He's not doing so. He's suppressed though, so he can't really get over there. Down goes the Wraith Lord. Fire Prism is in play though, but look at this. Completely decap his power. Red team really struggling for power right now. Rangers got a cap here. Now they're idle. Oh, red team have taken this and they've noted it. Banshees on the prowl. They've actually done well as the game's gone on. I think they've picked their battles pretty well. Level 3 now. And there's that Fire Prism. Has its dispersed shot to disrupt things and also has its focused beam to do more damage to single targets. 194, 173. Uh-oh. That Avenger's owned by the Warp Fire thing. And he's got Kommando Tzeentch now too. Big shot on that Sorcerer. Rangers are still over here, idle. Batpimp now got a looted tank on the way. Flash kits. Where's the other model? Where's the third model? Oh, he's over there. That was weird. Commandos are now cap. These guys capping 50% faster than normal. You see that decap flying down there. Last Cannon Devastators retaking. And Orks also stole this and are noding it. So they're getting their power by stealing stuff. And they've got like power scattered around the map now. He's really determined to take this VP back, CNA. Now it's kicking off mid. That's a big boom shot from the tank. Oh, hits terrain. Did not disrupt the Librarian, and that is a purification valves to scare off the Storm Boys. What Spider's teleporting in to take it. Need to be careful though. CSM coming from the west side. 187, 166, very close on VPs, and they are careful when they do see it. Where is the Warlock? He's level 5. No warp throw. Warp throw might have been really useful on this western side. Could get a lot of stuff in a single throw, but now we have a Mark of Khorne Chaos Dreadnought. Everything needs to watch the hell out. Some comedic flash gets here, knocking each other over. It's going after the Fire Prism, I think. No, just going after some squishy Dire Avengers. Where's your Haywire? There it is. Shuts it down. Can now get shots on with the Fire Prism, doing good damage too. Heretics with their grenade launchers can't really do anything against Banshees when they're this close. Warlock leaping in, and here's another Chaos Dreadnought. Oh, this is the first one still. He hasn't lost any. Oh, he did lose one. So this must have been his third one that got Mark of Khorne. Where the hell is it? He got teleported out. He lost one to the Eldritch. Decent amount of red for CNA. He's pretty close to another Eldritch, and Batpimp can drop a Rocks as well. Takes out the Apothecary of the Bomber Boys. That was pretty fun. Some Loyalist Terminators on the field for Scatter to Cinders. Storm Boys want to get the stun, but they need to retreat here, I think. There we go. Tons and tons of red for Batpimp. 162 to 166. Double cap for the red team. Here's that Librarian sprinting in for a cap. What else can they get up here? Can he get a D cannon in the middle here, CNA? Got tons of power. Batpimp could do with that much power. Banshee trying to get in on the terminus, but taking so much damage as they do so. Maybe should have put Distort Field up if they want to try and run in like that. He has the red for it. And nasty dark flames on this Eldar stuff. Did the Rangers live? Looks like they live. I feel like they've had one model for like 10 minutes now. Storm Boys coming out, back out of base. They've actually done well. Level 3. Soaked up a lot of damage. Some sluggers on the way for Batpimp to repair his tank. Can also do a lot of work with their Nob leader, of course. The Mark of Tzeentch Chaos Dreadnought now on the field for Cornholio. As a Mark of Tzeentch and a Mark of Khorne. Purification Vials again. He gets caught by it. He hasn't been very good at recognizing that Apothecary approaching for a grenade throw, has he? Could have avoided a lot of those, I think, and avoided being forced to retreat. We got to see a rock soon. 127 to 166. 1-to-1 cap. Gonna be a 2-to-1 for blue though. I think it's worth Batpimp to go and bash these gens now. Looks like that's what he's doing with the Storm Boys, maybe? Yeah, it looks like everything's going over there, maybe. Nope. Need some repairs. There we go. Oh, Cyclone Missile Launcher. That thing does insane amounts of damage. Does spread out quite a lot, though. Really good versus big fat Land Raiders and Baneblades and that kind of thing. Warlock still level 5 and no Warp Throw. I think Warp Throw would be really good for him over here. Throw stuff into the Banshees kind of thing. Especially this big blob of stuff over here. But obviously he's got plans for his resources. Maybe an Avatar, I think, is his plan. Batpimp did not go after that power over there. Wants to try and get back the middle. Haywire Grenade, it's all kicking off. Warlock in amongst things, but goes down to the Mark of Khorne Dreadnought. Storm Boys need to be very careful. Yes, they do. They really benefit from a Nob squad being in there to soak up damage for them. Very good defense for the blue team. There's a Rocks, but there's Angels of Death to defend against it. Global ability of the Apothecary, and he survived it pretty well. I feel like he needed another flash kit squad. They do really good in pairs. Big burst of damage when you have two of them. Now they're bashing the power here. After a very shaky start to tier 2, blue team have come back very strong. There's 2 Chaos Dreadnoughts still in play. He's getting a 3rd Chaos Dreadnought on the field, Cornholio. And he's decapping his power too. And there's that advanced healing for the Terminators. I believe it does 1% per tick, or is it 1.5? Doesn't tell me on the tooltip for the war gear itself. Rangers getting shots in. Not doing a huge amount at this stage in the game. Level 4 CSM. What level are these guys though? Almost level 3. They're doing decent damage still. Look at that. Boom. Taking out a model. Leveling up to 3. Trying to put some pressure on the VP, which is the right thing to do, but there's a very angry Dreadnought there. Now shooting his own stuff with that underslung twin-link bolter. 127.92. And look at this, decapping and rather capping red team's natural. He hasn't put any pressure on that power for a while, Batpimp. Still very puzzled by him losing those double shooter boys like that. Very puzzling. Avatar of Cain is on the way. Storm Boys picking their target very well there. And stick bombs on retreat path. Can't get another model though. But he's flanking around. There's a Bomber Boys to start things off. But now they are forced to retreat themselves. Stun bomb misses. Triple cap now for blue team. This might be it. Avatar's on the field, but it might be too late. Here comes a Nob squad too. Might have been very different if Batpimp still had those double shooter boys. Very different. Banshee's taking tons of damage here. It's going to be very hard for them to dislodge the blue team. And as I say that, they might just do it. Down goes the Apothecary all of a sudden. Terminator is backing away here. Avatar chasing them, but can they get a decap? Commando's trying to do so. But here comes that Mark of Khorne Dreadnought. There's an Eldritch. Dodges it. Well, yes he does. Nothing got hit by it. Now it's an Avatar versus a Mark of Khorne Dreadnought. And that Avatar's taking tons of damage. That's the Mark of Tzeentch CSM too. Wailing Doom makes the Mark of Tzeentch CSM run away. If nothing else, that guy's already lost half of his hit points. That Avatar. 125.19. 2-1 cap 4. The red team here. Right back in this, and here comes a Nob squad. Warlock level 6 now has the warp throw. Can throw stuff off the caps if nothing else. Sorcerer might go down. Wow, got hit by a rocket and went down. Double Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnoughts. Not sure where the Mark of Khorne one is. Maybe it was teleported out somewhere. Where did it go? Am I blind? Did it go down? Did the Dreadnought go down? It might have. Maybe it did. It must have. Where the hell is it? So now it's got double Mark of Tzeentch, but no Mark of Khorne Dreadnought. Where are those Terminators? They're defending the east side now. Trying to keep it from Batpimp. Nice grenade on the Nob squad. But Nob squads are moving and don't have their hammers yet, but they're still incredibly dangerous with these heavy melee chain axes. Some capping now, leaving it to the Kommando since they're faster at it. Terminators really don't like fighting Nobs, and there's the Gate of Infinity to just confuse the Nob squad, make him even angrier. Red team coming straight back into this here. Nice stun bomb. There's Frenzy on the Nobs. Not the time to use it, I don't think. Oh, now they're taking damage. Used it a bit too early there. 101 to 12. It only lasts 8 seconds or so, Frenzy. So you want every second to count. Look at these Rangers infiltrated to give vision. Awesome. Wartark dropped in. Almost finishes off the CSM here. In fact, might do so. She's going for a decap, not fighting. 83 to 12. Gets the decap for a double here. Can the Dreadnoughts take out that Fire Prism? That's a lot of damage from one volley. Fire Prism is pretty squishy with just 500 hit points at level 1. Oh, down go the Rangers. They did so well. They actually finished this cap here, the Autarch. She's now given her passive buff to the Banshees, but she's in trouble herself with Bloodletters called in with demonic summoning from Cornholio. 40 to 12, double cap for Red Team. Can they hold on and take this? Wasn't looking good for a while, but they've come back really strong after the Blue Team came back strong. Nob squad on the prowl. I think Batpimp has enough for a Rocks. Yes, he does. That could be vital. Didn't do a huge amount with his first Rocks because of the Angels of Death going off. There's the Frenzy. 12 to 13 on the VPs. Red Team with a single. But we have double Terminators here for Scatter Cinders, and there's Angels of Death again. Going to help them get this cap. And this might give them the 2-1 to win it. It's very close. Huge hammers on the way for the Nob squad. Going after the Apothecary there. Want to get that advanced healing out of there. But they have to retreat. There's the 2-1 and there's a GG from Cornholio. Don't think they have time to come back. Oh, maybe they do. Here's the Eldar pushing the west side. And Warpside is getting a decap here. Did he have time though? Not sure if they do. Trying to throw them off the cap with the warp fire, and it wasn't enough time. Look how close that was. Very close. 8 VPs to 0. Awesome match. We had a level 6 Sorcerer at the end. Level 9 Apothecary. He was healing like crazy. Level 6 Warlock. And a level 5 Kommando. Has pretty isolated 1v1 fights each side, and then a nice amalgamation of death in the middle towards the end of the game. Some big comebacks from both teams at different stages. Awesome to see all the Chaos Dreadnoughts stomping around too. Cornholio didn't even get to tier 3. Look at this. Did really well with his tier 2 units. There have you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.